It says, yes, you are live. I know it's early, but after this live stream, make sure you log on to doggiediamondstv.com. That is my official website, doggiediamondstv.com. On there, you will find ways to contact me. You'll see every video, all the content that you might have missed through the YouTube stream, through the YouTube feed, is right on that website. Log on to doggiediamondstv.com. That is my official website. Also, all my social media pages, you can get to me through the website. Also, man, let me let you know about this promo. Have you heard about my $200 social media promotion deal? If not, let me give you some details really quick. The promotion will be done on Doggie Diamonds TV and the Interlude TV accounts. That's the Insta stories, the YouTube communities, the Facebook, the Twitter accounts. I can promote whatever you need. And as a reminder, this is for serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. I can put your product in front of hundreds of thousands of people with one single post. Just contact me at Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. At Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. It's early. Let's go. Yes. Early bird catch the first worm. Let's go early today. Let's go in early today. We got Bernadette Bernie in the building. Tisha, what's up? Thanks for holding it down. Quentin Presley, what's up? Cesar P, what's up? Iceberg 1K, what's up? Nate Jackson, what's up? If you in the building, speak. Say something. Why do I sound so low to myself? Hold on. Red Hood Project Brooklyn in the building. There we go. I don't know how this mic lowered for some reason. Peter Truth, what's up? What's up? Early afternoon. Make sure you hit that like button. That like button is important. No, it's still the morning. It ain't even afternoon. It's early. Yes. SMD 97 show, what's up? Black Family United, what's up? $1 Million Minds, what's up? Yes. I might start going live this early on a daily. Try something different. You know? I had the Ninth Wonder clip. I know y'all saw it. If you didn't see it, I don't want to play it because sometimes they like messing with me when I like play stuff, so I'm not gonna play it. Oh, I did a drop? Ooh, don't forget.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
I did a drop? Hold on. Oh, doing drops in the middle of it. Yeah. That's what's up. Start doing drops. Know what I mean? Start doing beat drops in the middle of the show.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Ooh, start doing beat drops. Y'all know about that? Like I'm here mixing. See, start getting like a little kid, start dropping every time. Y'all know nothing about that. Y'all know nothing about that. Start doing drops in the middle of the show. Yo, let me come on real quick. All right. What's up, everybody? I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is Doggie Diamonds TV. Doggie Diamonds No Filter. I ain't gonna keep y'all long because it's early. We got a lot of work to do today. So if you're not following me on all social media or any social media, it don't matter which one is your favorite. I'm on all of them. Whether it's TikTok, Facebook, X, which is my favorite, Instagram. I'm on all of them. So I know topics like this. This is for hip hop lovers. Everybody don't love hip hop. You know, everybody don't love hip hop the way they act like they do. So So topics like this don't really get a lot of burn. You know, a lot of people, they just chime in, but they not gonna watch it and participate in these type of talks because it's not for everybody. Hip hop is something that's very seldom spoken about in these days and times because nobody really enjoys the music the way they used to because everybody think they do the music. So when people should be talking about it from a fan point of view, nobody's really a fan of music anymore because they think they man and they crew is better than whatever. So people be forgetting to be fans of the music still and still discuss it and still talk about it to help it grow. Reason why hip hop is where it's at today is because we talked about it, we discussed it. Not only did we do it, but everybody knew that they couldn't do it. So we became fans of some people that was more advanced. We would get our skill level up, and then once we got a skill level up, we would enter our hat into the realm of hip hop. Now, people have different versions of what they call hip hop and music, so they just put out anything and call it hip hop. That's why you have these little sub-genres of hip hop. And in my opinion, it doesn't take that much skill. It's not well produced. All my opinion. Not well produced. Not mixed well. Not mastered. It's just loud. It's just loud music. But you don't really hear the sonics, the ambiance, the different sounds and stuff. It's just loud. So that's why where we at. It used to be a time where it was about expression, but it just seemed like everybody just have the same expression now. The expression is the same. I was in the barbershop the day before yesterday and they was playing, I don't want to talk about the region, but they was playing they played Pandora in the barbershop. And all the music that came on, it was from different artists. I couldn't really differentiate the artists, but I know it wasn't the same artist. And everything was like, I drank Kool-Aid when I was little. My homie died and I ain't been the same. All that music sounded exactly like that. Every song that came on, it was just like they was rapping with. Some of them had auto-tune in their raps, but every rap was, I lost my dog when I was 17. My daddy left when I was 17. And I was like, damn, imagine listening to an album of this shit. Be in the crib like, give me all those pills. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was just weird to me, but every song that came on had that, but it was different artists. But moving right along I just had to get that out real quick, but moving right along to today's topic. Ninth Wonder says The Infamous is the greatest New York album ever made. He said it on Drink Champs. If you look at the episode with him and Smith & Wesson, he said it on there. And I'll disagree. Reason why I disagree, because I'm from New York. Brooklyn in particular. And I remember what album had the biggest impact when it came out in the town. Him being from somewhere else, he can hear something and say, oh, wow. But us being here, we knew what it was living here. Although The Infamous is a great album, Tim Mack, I appreciate you. Although The Infamous is a great album, it's not the greatest New York album ever made. Because that's a subjective title when you start talking about the greatest New York album ever made. Because we will have to categorize it based off of soloist, group, and duo. Although a duo is a group, now when we talk about a group, they change what a group is now, because a group could contain 6 members. A group could contain 4 or 5 members. So that's not the same as a duo. So when we talk about the greatest New York album ever made, we will have to say it's Illmatic. Because without Illmatic, there is no Infamous album. Illmatic was the first album that we seen with an ensemble of dope producers coming together from their respective groups, their respective production elsewhere to produce this kid that we heard a few rhymes from. We heard Halftime. We heard Back to the Grill Again. And then there's this kid named Nasty Nas that all we remember is I went to hell for snuffing Jesus, live at the barbecue. Now let me tell you why Illmatic is over the Infamous. Because Temperatures Rising, respectfully, is a fake One Love song. It's a letter to your man. You got that from Illmatic. Temperatures Rising is One Love with a different beat, but it's the same record. It's a letter to your man. What up, kid? I know shit is rough doing. What up, black? Hold your head wherever you at. What's the difference? There is no difference. Ironically, Q-Tip did One Love. He also did Temperatures Rising. Q-Tip did 3 records on the Infamous, and people don't pay attention to that. He did Drink Away the Pain. He did Just Step. And he did Temperatures Rising. And people just omit that he did those records because people will be, oh, Havoc did Shook Ones, Havoc did that. But it's the same ass record. There's no difference between Temperatures Rising and One Love. What up, kid? I know shit is rough doing your bid. When the cops came, you should have slid to my crib. What up, black? Hold your head wherever you at. He said almost the same exact things. He said the exact same shit in the record, Prodigy. Rest in peace to Prodigy. But then now, Illmatic paved the way. Illmatic paved the way for the Infamous because before that, put that on your mama. Q-Tip didn't produce Temperatures Rising. Put that on there. Q-Tip didn't produce Temperature. I should block you from my chat. Q-Tip didn't produce Temperatures Rising. Anyway. Yo, you know what's a funny story? Let me give y'all a funny story. I actually went to mix Temperatures Rising before. Seriously. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So, moving right along before I gotta stop getting distracted by trolls, because some people just talk and they just like to talk. That's why when it comes to these conversations and when it comes to what we're talking about, that's why we be in these situations that we be in, because we have more talkers than we have knowers. And then people regurgitate and don't research. Somebody will say something and they'll take somebody word for it and then run with that instead of just doing their due diligence. But you talking to somebody who's of the culture, who know the culture, who was there for a lot of stuff. But that's besides the point. We had, prior to Nas coming out with this Illmatic album, who's really only, we can say, 9 records, because the Genesis is not a song. We heard Halftime already. So it's really about 8 songs. So prior to this, we was coming out of an era where we had the elder statesmen, we had the Rakim and them don't sweat the technique. We had it was on the last legs of what we looked at as our veterans. The way the album was put together, we never seen nothing like this. We DJ Premier, who's one of the top hip hop producers of all time, but we know him for Gangstar, although he did Strictly for the Ladies for Lord Finesse. But he does this production on this album. We got Pete Rock, that we know from Pete Rock and CL Smooth, but then also these remixes. We got Large Professor, who was in the group Main Source, who did Akinelli, who did Coogee Rap, and he also did Rakim music, although Eric B used to take the credit, but he did Coogee Rap too. He did Streets of New York for Coogee Rap. At this particular time, we never saw an ensemble of producers, and LES we thought was just a DJ. He did Life's a Bitch, which is a record forever, But we didn't understand what they were doing when they put this album together and these records that came from it. So when it come to New York records, Illmatic set the precedent for what dudes was gonna do for their album. Because if it was no Illmatic, you would not have had a Reasonable Doubt. If it was no Illmatic, you wouldn't have had no Ready to Die. Style, I'm talking about the styles of album, because dudes was doing all types of skits and stuff and doing the Illmatic stopped all of that. The album started becoming sequenced better. Dudes started making records that wasn't party jingles, but was making records that was crossing over, but they were hard street records. If it wasn't no Illmatic, there would be no Infamous, there would be no Purple Tape, because that started these new street albums that were produced a certain way, but it wasn't about a single. They would find a single within the song. They didn't try to make a single. They didn't try to make a single. They would find a single within all of this dopeness. And it wasn't a traditional single where we knew Biggie was making a single when he made It Was All a Dream. We knew that was to be a single. With them other albums, you couldn't say that Ice Cream is gonna be a single. These niggas talking about watch these rap niggas get all up in your guts. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know that dead presidents. First of all, let me tell you something. In anything printed that you have to sell that says dead is ain't gonna work. So he named the album Dead. He named a song Dead Presidents. Now, what y'all don't understand, and let me go further. What you know from Shook Ones, that's Shook Ones Part 2. That's not Part 1. The first album that they did was called Juvenile Hell. Go back and listen to that album. Go back and listen to that album. Listen to Shook Ones Part 1. Why you think it's a Shook Ones Part 2? That's not Shook Ones. That's Shook Ones Part 2. Shook Ones Part 2 for a reason. Was it grimy? Hell yeah. Do you remember a time in your life? Hell yeah. But Illmatic set the trend for that. Illmatic set the trend for that. And Large Professor produced Juvenile Hell. He produced a lot on it. So did Primo. So when we say it's the greatest New York album ever made, we have to go to the blueprint, no pun intended, of what was to come from these 90s of how people put albums together. How people say, I want this producer, I want this producer, and I want this producer to make me this album. The 90s is when the producer started getting more credit in being the name producer, because what we didn't realize is that the producers on this album were in groups. They were in groups. The producers for Illmatic was in groups. And they took time out of their group to put forth this album for Nas. You don't think Guru wasn't like, damn, that New York state of mind, I could have used that? Shout out to Black Moon too. So, when we say that, we'll say Illmatic. That's a soloist. That's an important album for a soloist. The most important album for a group is Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang. That's the most important New York album ever made. And I'm going to break down why that was the most important album ever made for New York. Because it was a group of 9 men on one album. And we can't, remember, we're coming from 16 bars. We're coming from 16 bars, 3 verses. How are you going to fit 16 bars in 3 verses with 9 men? How do you do that without having 10-minute records? They showed how you do that. They showed how you do that. Remember, 36 Chambers is before Infamous. Yo, why you keep saying that's your opinion and there's an opinion? All of this shit is an opinion. Come on, man. Just chill out. That's your opinion. It's all opinion. But we're talking about hip hop. You want me to talk about Adam 22 in the Bronx with the Bloods? Stop saying that. Anyway. they showed that one producer can do a whole album with 9 members, seeing who fit on a song, seeing how they could make records and then end up making hit records out of shit that wasn't hits. Like, we never heard anything like the mystery of chess boxing. Mystery of chess boxing? What the hell is this? So at the end, we never saw nothing like that. We never saw a group where we seen emerging stars out of this thing where, everybody in this group potentially can be a soloist. Because you ever notice when we have groups nowadays, one of the things that we want to do is break the group up. Sincere, respectfully, one of the first groups to implement Chinese culture into hip hop is the Fu-Schnickens, but nobody give Fu-Schnickens credit. It's just the truth. It's the Fu-Schnickens, but that's a whole nother subject. So, from this group, you got these gritty ass beats. Respectfully, when you think about RZA on the productions, as a producer, RZA production was so flawed and so unique that it made it dope, because I could tell you records and show you records that's not even on beat. That's not even sonically right. But it worked. It worked. It completely worked. So that's the most important New York album ever made, because by a group. Because when we started going into the crews, the cliques, the clans, the posses, all of this New York slang. Because if you're not from New York, you don't know the slang and the lingo where we was calling each other, how we was calling each other the clique, how we was, and not from no base shit. We would just be like, yo, we the clique, yo, we this clique, yo, we this crew, we this clan. That is what we were saying in New York. So I'll get to Rakim in a minute. I don't think y'all would like what I have to say. Let me get to Rakim right now. I see people keep saying paid in full, paid in full, paid in full. And Rakim gets a lot of credit that he deserves because he's one of the architects of intellect and penmanship and lyricism when it comes to our culture. He's one of the architects. But y'all got to stop with a lot because he really didn't innovate nothing. He didn't really innovate nothing. We always, the God Rakim. Rhymes don't got no lessons in them. They don't got no lessons. They don't got no lessons. This is the truth. How could Rakim teach everybody how to flow? So what is broken glass everywhere? People pissing on the corner, and it just see, this is what I'm saying. This is why a lot of y'all don't be qualified to speak on certain things, because you don't know. So what was Melly Mel doing? That wasn't the flow. The message wasn't the flow. And every Rakim beat prior to Eric B is president and my melody is a break beat. You can find that record and do it over. I could find the records right now and do it over. It's a break beat. All his drums was break beats, not chopped drums. They were all break beats with a loop over them. They were all break beats with a loop over it. So he is one of the GOATs. He is one of the top guys, but nobody wanted to do an album like Paid in Full. You might have been inspired by it, but nobody wanted to do an album like Paid in Full. Nobody wanted to do an album like that. Nobody said, oh, I need to do an album like Paid in Full. This didn't happen. And to be honest, only thing you really play today is Paid in Full and Eric B is president. You don't check out my melody. My name is Rakim Malard. You don't play that. Lord Jazz, you dead ass wrong. You said nobody was chopping in the 80s. Marley Marl was chopping in the 80s. All them beats that Eric B is president is a chop. Eric B is president is a chop. That's Impeach the President chopped up. Marley Marl chopped Impeach the President for everything. What you think the bridge is? Impeach the President. What you think Make the Music is? Impeach the President. Marley Marl was chopping. Rakim's first song is a chop. Even as far as that I heard, and I got to confirm this, that on Make the Music record, Fly Ty was like, we need shakers because Dougie Fresh and them was winning with shakers. Right? So they didn't have no shakers. Marley went in the booth and did this. Shh, 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 with his mouth. That was the shaker and Make the Music with your mouth is. It was Marley Marl doing that shit. Shh, 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 shh. That's what I heard. But anyway, so we got 36 chambers. We got 36 chambers that made it possible for the crews now to say, yo, we could do a group album. It's 15 of us, but no, we could do an album. We did the Wu-Tang thing. Because when we think about classic records, that's group songs. The group songs was called something. They were called symphonies. Yo, we got to do a symphony. A symphony was when a bunch of dudes rapped on a record. Then it became, yo, we got to do a scenario. So that was important. I feel like Illmatic paved the way for these solo guys. These solo guys to make these type of albums. Now, my personal solo album, that's the best New York album. This is all my opinion. If I'm going to pick Illmatic, Ready to Die, Reasonable Doubt, The Infamous, I'm going with that purple tape. I'm just be real with you. I'm going with that purple tape. I'm going with that purple tape. That's just me. Posse Cut. There you go, Peter Truth. That's the other one I was thinking of. I'm going with that purple tape. That purple tape? What I tell you about wearing the wrong New Balance? I'm going with that purple tape. That's just me. But Illmatic set the precedent. And let's not omit Kool G Rap's influence on all these rappers. Let's stop taking G Rap out of this equation. Because I know a lot of people give it to Rakim. Kool G Rap. Kool G Rap. Kool G Rap, man. One of the first records that people heard that Nas and myself and a lot of people wasn't Reasonable Doubt that made people want to get money. It was Road to the Riches. When I was 5 years old, it was that. It was Road to the Riches. That made people want to get money. I remember when that came out. I'm on the road to the riches. A thug who mugged for drugs. He eventually buzzed, looking for crack on carpets and rugs. Road to Riches was one of the first get money songs. Beat was funky. Marley Marl. Had this piano. I know where it come from. I ain't gonna sample snitch, but Road to Riches. First of all, Kool G Rap was a million and one ways how to kill somebody on a record. He'll kill you 1,000 different ways on one song. But Road to Riches was that record. If you was outside getting money, all right, let me just get out. That's very ladylike of you. What? All right, let me get you up out of here. Anyway, Road to Riches. You said it was Dead President by Jay-Z. Do you know that Jay-Z quoted Men and with G Rap on the Road to Riches in the Bismarcky Party freestyle? Go look it up. Go look up Bismarck Party freestyle with all these rappers. Jay-Z said, "Man, I'm with G Rap on the Road to Riches." So what you talking about? Everybody is influenced by Kool G Rap. Everybody. Every rapper is influenced by Kool G Rap. You ask them. Every rapper. Man, I'm with G Rap on the Road to Riches. Go look up Bismarcky Birthday Party and look up Jay-Z and Jaz-O rapping on there. I had the tape. I had the cassette. OJ, where my tape? But anyway. We could go on for albums from New York that was some of the most important albums. And it could be subjective and it could be what you think. But some of these albums is important because what the album meant to the culture at that time. It meant to the culture at that time. We don't even pay attention that Kool G Rap and Rakim is in the same crew. We don't pay attention that on the Rakim album, that's Kool G Rap, one of the dudes in there, with the real 50 Cent on there, a lot of people. You don't pay attention to that. Kool G Rap and Rakim was in the same crew. Y'all never pay attention to that? That don't got no records together. I wonder why that is. Why nobody never asked that question? So, you said the purple tape overrated. I guess if that's what you feel. The most anticipated album in New York history is Get Rich or Die Trying. That album, somebody said Jay-Z influenced a lot of hustlers, not Kool G Rap. Anyway, okay. Think about this. When that 50 Cent album was coming out, it was just all about, everything was about 50 Cent. Like the whole New York City was about 50 Cent, everything. That album had to be successful because it was 50 Cent. He had the mixtape run. He kind of started a mixtape thing. To me, that was just like karaoke. Where he was just changing the words of raps that we already knew. But it was very, very big. And then I liked In the Club, but it was just something about this record. Many men wish death upon me, blood and... When I first heard that, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, many men. That record is special. That song is special right there because I never heard nothing like that before. But that album was very, very important and put together. That might be one of the greatest New York albums, but sometimes we can't say it's a New York album because it's produced by Dr. Dre. I don't know. It's a lot, it's a lot, but all in all, I ain't listened to no Bobby Digital album. Let's keep it real with y'all. I wasn't listening to that Bobby Digital stuff. I like Domestic Violence. It was a few songs that I did like, but I wasn't with that. I dipped my blunt in the. I wasn't listening to none of that. I'm just be real with you. I want to be 1,000 real with you. For me, where I'm from, how I carry it, I don't listen to weird shit. I'm just being real with you. Once the dude start doing weird stuff, God family, what's up? I don't listen to it. Thank you. Jim Mafia, Mephisto, thank you. Yeah, Trump did. I don't listen to weird shit. Once a nigga put on a Zorro mask and talking about dipping weed and all that, I don't listen to that. I don't listen to that. Just be real with you. I don't fuck with it. P, the truth, you're right. Some people don't consider Get Rich a real New York album because it was produced by Dr. Dre. But he's a New York rapper. The Tragedy record, fire. The video made it more fire. So I would take the purple tape. A nigga RZA had on a Zorro mask. He did. I ain't fuck with that shit. I would take the purple tape. Reasonable Doubt is an incredible album to this day, but all of that is sparked by Illmatic. Ready to Die, I would be biased if I speak on the album because it's just songs on Ready to Die that I just don't like. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like certain songs on Ready to Die. But people, you know, I just don't like them. You know? And Ready to Die really got a lot of skips on there. People just don't pay attention to that. Like, I don't like Things Done Changed. Not really the rhymes, but I didn't like the production on Ready to Die. I wasn't really a fan. Everything Easy Mo B did was dope. Suicidal Thoughts is dope. Warning, of course, is fire. But I did not like Juicy. I don't listen to Juicy to this day. I just don't like Juicy. I just never did. Just don't like Juicy. Never liked that. Even Respect, we on the respect to other. I just didn't like that. Just never liked that. Friend of Mine, don't like that either. Respect, don't like that. I like Warning. I like Machine Gun Funk. But Machine Gun Funk is heavily influenced by Tupac. It's just the truth. God family first. It's just the truth. If you listen to Machine Gun Funk, it's influenced by Tupac. Nobody's not really gonna say that. But it's, so you wanna be hardcore with your hat to the back. It's just the truth. All of these vocal tracks, Tupac influence. Just the truth. So I never really, it was cool, but never liked Big Papa. And then we're not talking about the raps. I just didn't like, I think that album could have been produced better. Life After Death is a masterpiece. Unbelievable, masterpiece. But Unbelievable although it's dope, don't fit sonically with a lot of the record. You know what I'm saying? It don't fit. But so you want to be hardcore with your hat to the back, pumping them to get. Did you know that when Tupac used to come to New York, he used to do I Get Around at shows and leave a 16 for Biggie to perform on I Get Around? Actual facts. See, it's hip hop stories that people don't tell because they won't tell for some type of reason. And then you'll have people who tell the stories and they be capping the whole time. See, it's untapped hip hop stories that only certain people know, that when we get in front of people and we interview them, we could extract those stories because we be knowing stuff that dudes might have forgot all the years of drinking and drugging and fucking and all that. But it's a lot of stories about the culture that people don't talk about because everybody want to talk about it from the perspective like they was winning in the culture. So that's why you see what you see now. And then you got these weirdos who's not even old enough to have been around to know certain stuff. I was a little kid in the studio around a lot of stuff. Me and my crew was little dudes around the first studio session I was in and walked the Beastie Boys. Just seriously, you know, it just was what it was. First studio session in Chungking. But when we dealing with this New York album, I'm talking about what the streets was doing. Oh, and another album, I'm gonna be real with y'all too, man. Another album that people be fronting on, a group that people be fronting on, that people act like didn't have no effect in them streets. That stiggity bump, that does effects. Yo, if you was outside when Daz Effects came out, Daz Effects had the streets. Every car was riding past playing bump, stibbity bump, skibbity bump. Yo, if you lived in New York, Daz Effects had it. Daz Effects had it. And I know now people say the Iggity is corny and all that. Nah. Back then, Daz Effects, yo. They want effects. Yo. Daz Effects had it. They had dudes going into the sewer, being dirty and all that. And I never understood the correlation between Lords of the Underground and Daz Effects. They sounded nothing alike or looked nothing alike and just wasn't even the same group. But Lords of the Underground too had it. I don't think y'all understand, right? A lot of people like Chief Rocker. Chief Rocker wasn't my favorite record. My favorite record was Funky Child. Because that sample, the way they did that, is very hard to do. Because if you listen to the original sample, that dun, 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 that shit is hard as fuck to do. That's not an easy sample. That's not an easy shit to sample. Shout out to K-Def, man. K-Def, oh, man. Let me tell you something about K-Def really, really quick. Psycho? Listen. When you heard I like Psycho because I think that's the Blind Alley drums. I could have never freaked the Blind Alley drums. I used to be mad at people when they freaked them Blind Alley drums. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Blind Alley is the sample from Ain't No Half Steppin'. Many people flipped Blind Alley. Blind Alley is flipped twice on They Want Effects album. Clap your hands now. That's Blind Alley. But listen. Another popular record with Blind Alley is the Scenario remix. Those are Blind Alley drums. I could never freak Blind Alley drums. How did everybody freak Blind Alley drums? I could never freak those drums. I don't know why. They just never sounded. Maybe I need to get the CD or something like that. But I could never freak the Blind Alley drums. I was just trash. I tried it one time. I'm like, nah, these shits don't sound right. So, about K-Def. If you listen to Mike Geronimo record that came out after, called Unstoppable. It's a Marvin Gaye song that goes That's Unstoppable, produced by Pete Rock. That same sample, K-Def takes that sample that I knew was that Marvin Gaye record and made it go. How the hell he do that? So he took the piano stabs. And made a whole different melody to it. Listen to Real Live-ish. Which, Real Live shit to me, I used to think was the Hydra drums. But then again, I could be wrong. Hydra is by Grover Washington Jr. Hydra is the same drums that is How Many MCs? That's called Hydra, which EPMD used it before Black Moon. So Hydra, if you ever hear them drums, also I think Shit's Real by Mike Geronimo was the Hydra drums. I always thought it was the Hydra drums. But anyway, when he did this Real Live shit, yo, I was like, yo, what the hell was that? I just didn't, when he did that beat, that was it. That was it. Hold on. Answer. Be too early. When I think about certain people, I just give them a call too. Okay. I want to have more hip hop discussions, but I'm gonna need y'all support on these because when we talk about these things, these is the least viewed, the least commenting on, the least engaging topics. The least engaging topics for me personally. And I don't like that. I think hip hop should be discussed more. We got a lot of distractions within our culture, so much going on. And when we stop talking about the culture with somebody that's knowledgeable, because one thing about me, I'm not going to sit here and cap. One thing that I don't do is put myself in situations where I was there and then, certain things I wasn't there for. I don't know nothing about, but I was a spectator or a damn supporter of. That's what I like to come from the perspective of. But I just like to talk about the culture. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is a certain age. It's an era or two before me. I might be third generation. 1, 2. Yeah, third. I'm third generation because you would have the founders. Then you would have the Kane, Rakims, and all that. Then you would have us. So I would be third generation in hip hop. And yo, man, I was going to do a post, and I'm glad that you said Fulton County champions. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we gonna talk about group albums too, a lot of y'all say the Infamous. And I even said 36 Chambers. But the album that got more burn probably than both of those albums is that Onyx Back the Fuck Up album. Onyx, yo, listen, let me tell you something about Onyx. Onyx changed. That nigga's yelling. Although Run DMC was doing a sort of yelling, but they wasn't doing no street yelling. Remember when Run DMC thought they was Onyx? You don't remember that? When they did Never Let a Punk Get Away with Murder, gunshot, all you heard of. Ooh, what you gonna do? Ooh, you don't remember when Run DMC did that record? That was an Onyx record. Never Let a Punk Get Away with Murder, gunshot. I was like, that Reverend Run saying that? That was an Onyx record. But rest in peace to Shy Skills. Me and Shy Skills got really, really very, very close, like in his last years of his life. Let me tell you about the genius of Shy Skills. Throw Your Guns is one of the only records besides Fat Joe, Shit's Real, where the clean version is better than the dirty version. Now, Throw Your Guns, listen, it's two things. The clean version says, it's time to get live, the way he started. No, the dirty version starts, it's time to get, the clean version starts, it's time to get live. He was more on the beat. Now, when you hear the clean and dirty version, you're going to pay attention to that now. That's why I love the clean version of that record. Shy Skills. That's Nautilus by Bob James. But it was two stabs. The bass line sounds played to me. Did I ask him, is that a played bass line? It sounds played though. But let me tell you about the drums. The drums on Onyx is A New Day by the Skull Snaps. The drums that Eric Sermon loved. How he did those drums, which are the Skull Snap sounds, he programmed it like Substitution, Synthetic Substitution by Melvin Bliss, which is almost the same programming, but the drum sounds are different. Substitution, the first people that I remember using Substitution is MC Ultra, Magnetic. That's Substitution drums. Also, Substitution is Redman, Jam for You. So when you listen to Substitution goes, it's almost the same shit. The same shit. So he programmed skull snaps like Substitution. Just crazy. When he did that. Now, think how many joints on Back the Fuck Up album. That's crazy. First of all, the next, what made the song The Next Niggas dope, that's the first time Sticky Fingers rhyme first. All the songs are started by Fredro, then Sun Seas come on, and then Sticky ends it. This the first song where we heard, if you got a girl, then you better book. Sticky started the record. That's what made The Next Nigga crazy. Sticky Fingers started a song. Sticky Fingers is one of the most influential rappers that nobody really talks about. He just is. Now, in 2025, when I think about Onyx, I still like Onyx catalog. We'll always listen to their catalog. But I'm going to be real with you. This ain't personal. I don't like the fact, and I don't know why, I don't see Sonny Caesar with Onyx no more. But when we see Onyx, we see Fredro and Sticky. That's not Onyx to me. Onyx is 3 members. And whether they want to omit Sun Seas, I don't know what happened. I don't want to get in nobody's business. But Sun Seas, out of all of them, probably wasn't the best of them. We would go Sticky, Fredro, then Sun Seas, right? But guess what? Sun Seas got the most quotable Onyx shit ever. Uh-oh, heads up, because we dropping off hits. Uh-oh, heads up, because we dropping some shit. Yo, just really think about that. Out of all the Onyx shit, that shit is the most memorable shit out of everything. Uh-oh, heads up, because we dropping some shit. Just really think about that. I did interview Sun Seas, it's on here. He just said because they cousins. But Sonny C's made Come Clean. Because when we think about that, that's Sonny C's. Just really think about that. Uh-oh, heads up. Every time you hear that, that's him. But it's funny that I'm saying this because I was just doing a deep dive of Onyx the other day, like listening to like Shifty. Come on, when we think about Back the Fuck Up, listen. When we think about we had a lot of records we liked on there. We loved Shifty. We loved The Next Niggas. Of course, we could do without like Me and Jack. But Slam, Throw Your Guns. I mean, any album where it's over 10 songs and you could pick out easily 5 or 6 is a dope album. So I used to love Shifty. But I'm telling you, that album in New York City, I knew niggas personally who just started yelling, shaving their head bald. It's just the truth. Even Eric Sermon and them, Redman and them, was influenced by Onyx. You don't believe me? Go watch Eric Sermon Drink Champ album. Where you think that, I'm sick, I'm crazy. That shit come from Onyx. Eric Sermon wasn't rapping like that. He was never like, I'm sick, I'm psycho. He never rapped like that. It was that Onyx influence that had niggas thinking they was crazy. It's just telling the truth. That whole, what the album? Of course, Def Jam will know how to market and promote that because it's very Onyx-ish. With the yelling, with the, I'm sick in the head. That was all sticky. That's Sticky Fingers. That's Sticky Fingers. Who, one of my favorite. Oh, and rest in peace to X1. Goodness gracious. X1 was nice too. X1 was fire. X1 was fire. I liked it's a song called Judgment Night featuring Biohazard and Onyx. Look that up. But it's two different versions. It's one that's a rock version, and then you have one that's another version. Go for the other version. Even on Shut 'Em Down with Deep. Onyx got hit records, man. Onyx got a verses. And I'm going to be real with you. You take any record in hip hop history, if they do a verses, I don't think many records is going to beat Last Days. That's just the, yo, I don't know many records that's going to beat Last Days. If they do a verses, you're going to have a hard time with Throw Your Guns. Because we talking about this records was like 93, 92, and these records are still sonically crazy. Like Throw Your Guns, listen to all that shit now. Still sound good. But, and then they introduced 50 Cent. But listen to, listen to how many hits does Onyx have? They got over a verses. They got a verses easily. They got 20. Last Days, I don't care what record you put against Last Days. Wu-Tang, all right. All them live niggas in. This is the way we don't throw gang signs in New York. Walk in New York by Onyx, which is blasphemy now, right? We don't throw gang signs. You pick a record, ain't too many records. Think about taking my own life. Might as well. Not too many records is beating Last Days. I don't care what nobody say. You going to just give that round up if it was a versus with anybody. You're not beating Last Days. Slam is an international record forever. Seriously. All right, you talking about Boot Camp Click greatest hits. Boot Camp Click got hits? Let's just be real. They don't. Boot Camp Click greatest hits. Y'all gonna have to start getting honest. I know music is subjective, but y'all gonna have to start getting honest. Skoska and the other one was cool. No, a Scotia, that's it, because nobody listening to Blah. Like, what are we talking about? Skoska is forever. I personally like No Fear. No Fear Shout out to the beat miners. But that snare from No Fear is the snare from One Love. The snare from No Fear, OGC, is the same snare from One Love. They took it from Q-Tip. You'll listen to it different now. Yo, live niggas. Yo, you know what was a dope flip of live niggas? Carl Thomas on his album. Dun, 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 dun. You said Redman has no number one hits, but he's dope. So you trying to tell me Redman is not on a number one hit record? You trying to tell me Let's Get Dirty is not a number one hit record? Not to us, but it's a hit record. Let's Get Dirty with Christina Aguilera. Some of y'all just need to exit some of these conversations. Just exit these conversations. Because you won't be knowing what you're talking about. I love Follow My Lead, though. I love Follow My Lead. Yo, I'm going to tell you something. I was listening to Follow My Lead, and I'll be listening to Shit's Real a lot of times. Yo, I like Let the Brains Blow, though. I was trying to get them to do a video for that. They was like, no. I was trying to get them. Yo, if you never saw my Helter Skelter interview, it's right on this channel. That's like one of my favorite interviews ever. It's right on this channel too. You could just look up Doggie Diamonds Helter Skelter. That's one of my favorite interviews. But all right, let me go, y'all. It's 12. I gotta eat. I'm gonna do some rundowns for today. I talked about how many MCs earlier. That's Hydra. So yo, even let me see something. Hold on. I don't got his number. Wrong shit. All right. Anyway, what I liked, man, $500,000. Yo, you know what's dope too? This was ill, right? So if you're from Brooklyn, you New York, thank you, Tim Mack. You from New York, you Brooklyn, right? Reggae is heavily influenced because we got Flatbush, we got Canarsie, more so Flatbush. But you said Boot Camp Click is more loved than Onyx, so how come Boot Camp Click is not on tour and Onyx is? And why do you say your opinion is a fact? You think Boot Camp Click is more loved than Onyx? First of all, one of the core members of Boot Camp Click passed away. Sean Price is the star. Rest in peace to my bro. That's the star. Without Sean Price, there is no Boot Camp Click. It's just the truth. Anyway, you hear this reggae record. I have never heard a sound play so pretty and so clear, and it has the Barry White sample. Buckshot and them went and did that shit immediately because that was the reggae record first. Man, they did that shit so fast. Somebody said pipe down. Boot Camp is nowhere as big. I mean, anyway, You know, sometimes you gotta let niggas talk, you know. But I'm trying to find. I gotta get him. Oh, it's an Evil D interview on here too. It's an Evil D interview on here too. Make sure you check the Evil D interview. Bernadette Price has an album out right now called A Widow's Cry. Solid project. I ain't even gonna lie. Bernadette Price has an album out right now called A Widow's Cry. Check that out. All right, let me run Mega Bonton. I was gonna say Buju, but it is Mega Bonton. Oh, here we go. Mike G, what's good? It's Doggie Diamonds.
I know who it is.
I do. Sometimes I'm live on YouTube. Sometimes you don't be having people locked in.
Nah. Dog, I always got you locked in.
All right, so this is my bro Mike Geronimo on the phone. So I was talking about Unstoppable, the video that we never did, remember?
Yeah. What's up?
Nothing much.
What
I was just talking about dope sample flips. For the shit's real. Is that Hydra drums, or would you not know?
I want to say, okay, I know we used Hydra for something. You talk about
The Grover Washington Jr.
Right?
Yeah, yep.
Right. I see the cover, like the cover in my head. We used Hydra. I'm not certain if it was just real, but I damn sure know we used Hydra for something.
We know it's free. We know it's Denise Williams free.
Yeah, the main sample is free, but I know where you going. You talking about more like with the snares that are
the drum. Yeah, I thought that was
That's a good question, dog.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's question. Hydra.
But you know, a lot of like at that time, Hydra was one of those records that like a lot of people used, implemented, experimented with.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and I do recall Hydra being used for something on the project, but I can't 100% say that it was just real.
Yo, my shit is Yo, did you ever do the record with Rockwilder? I ain't never do no music, right?
Nah, like we like I think we got to the point of where I might have heard a couple of beats, and I don't know what it was that happened. I want to say it was scheduling. It wasn't anything bad. It's just we never had circled back to get things done.
Yo, was you the first one with a reality TV show?
Oh man, you know I mean, there's people that say that. Me personally, I don't see it that way. I credit Heather B with being like the first MC I ever knew that did reality TV.
But what about MTV was following you around though?
Oh yeah. I did a show called Sex in the 90s.
Okay.
And it wasn't the thing that I kind of try to point out to people is like it wasn't just, my everyday. It was us, and then there were 3 other couples, and they were following all 4 of the couples around. And I guess they just took to, me and my girlfriend at the time, our interaction. And that's how it ended up happening, bro.
Man, I only remember your part. You was downtown Brooklyn too. I was like, yo, he down by Geronimo Street.
Yeah. 82 Pierpont, bro.
Yeah,
I lived there for, my God, I want to say over a decade.
Yeah, I know your rent was like $9,000 too. So that down there, you living down there? Woo!
Yeah, that's the promenade.
Yep, you living by the promenade. So, all right, reason why I'm saying that is because on that show when you was doing your album, I brought this up to you before. You was like, yo, I want that producer who did that record for Jamal, the Fade Jamal.
Oh, I used to love that song.
And that's Rockwilder who did Fade Jamal.
Yeah, Dana.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you from Queen. Y'all from Queen. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, like I knew Rock when I was I don't want to say a kid, but like in high school because he worked at Hot Watts.
Actual facts. Well, my man, what's my man? Well, Organized Confusion DJ.
Yeah.
Yes, what's his, I can't remember his name.
I'm trying to remember.
Light-skinned kid. I think he might have been Puerto Rican.
No, but we went to school together, and I know who you're talking about. And the craziest part is, I can't remember his name, and it starts with a V.
Right, you said Hot Watts. Damn, you took it back on that one.
Yeah, I used to go there like damn near every other day after school, bro.
Because everybody from Queens had to go through Hot Watts. Everybody.
You had to. And then if you put a song out, like, that was our Beat Street.
Right,
Queens.
facts.
Was our rock and soul.
Right.
That was our, like, that you just mandatory had to do in-store signing at Hot Watts. It's like, if you wanted anything to fly, you had to do that.
Facts. So the other thing was what happened with this was TVT at the time, right?
Correct, yeah.
So you never went to no other label?
No. And it's crazy. Like somebody not too long ago, they were like, yo, so you were like signed to Bad Boy and Def Jam. And in my head, I was like, okay.
Right.
Is that what like, nah, I was at TBT the whole time, bro.
So the record you did with Puff, who's that singing on that? That's Kelly Price or Faith?
No, that's Kelly Price.
See, back then we didn't know the difference between them. And then she didn't even get.
Thought that was Faith?
Yeah, I thought it was Faith.
I kind of get where you coming from. Like now that I'm playing the hook in my head, I could kind of see how people would mistakenly think that it's Faith because the way that Kelly sang it,
right,
was like in a similar song. But but Kelly's Kelly.
Right. So she didn't even get credited on it, right? Like on the sticker rights or nothing?
No, she did.
She did? See, I gotta go look back now.
I got credited for that. Absolutely. Shout out to Kelly.
But it says featuring Kelly Price?
I believe so.
Nah.
I'm pretty certain because it's not like what I do know is it's not like they were hiding the fact that she was on the song at all.
Right. How much did that cost you? How much that nigga Puff was charging for production back then? He was charging some wild shit. How much he charge you for that?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was upwards of 60,000.
Damn.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact sum, but it was definitely upwards of 60,000.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Goodness.
Yeah, and at that time, bro, like, yeah.
But yo, you did make one of the greatest records. I'm So High. Fire.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, but y'all, this is my brother Mike Geronimo. We kick it from time to time. Every now and again we kick it. You know what I'm saying? I know him from somewhere and all that. But yo, let me let you run. Give him your Instagram.
Mike Geronimo, at Mike Geronimo on TikTok. It's at Real Mike Geronimo. The website is MikeGeronimoMusic.com. And I think that's everything social media wise. Yeah.
You don't got a Twitch or nothing? You be on them turntables. What's going on?
Oh my God. How do I forget that?
See, that's why I am who I am. That's why I do what I do.
I appreciate it, bro.
Go ahead.
In my old age. Yeah. At Twitch. The Twitch is Real Mike Geronimo. No, it's the natural Mike Geronimo.
Got you. The natural Mike Geronimo. All right.
The natural Mike. And don't forget to check us out, YMVS Radio. We're on 24/7. I come on the last Monday each month, and I'll also be starting to do the drive-through hour twice a month.
Say the radio again.
YMVS Radio.
YNVS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, YNVS Radio.
Yeah.
That's on is it .com?
Yeah, .com. And you could catch me spinning on there the last Monday every month. And I think in 2 weeks, I'll start doing the drive-through hour, which is 12 to 1. And I think that's going to be twice a month.
Got you. All right, bro. When I get offline, I'll hit you up later on.
Yes, sir. I'm here. I appreciate it, dog.
Yes, sir. Peace. All right. Sometimes you call your rap friends. You know, you just shout out to Mike Geronimo. Damn, you gonna make me play I'm so high, you so high. I be getting money to the that's my joint too. Shout out to Buck Wild. Buck Wild produced that. Hold on. While I'm at it too, and I don't want to seem biased because he's my brother, because he is my brother. But what we not gonna do, we gonna stop acting like Buck Wild ain't one of them ones. We gonna stop acting like Buck Wild ain't top 10 producer of all time. I was gonna say top 5. His name gets pushed down because other people get pushed up. But we gonna stop acting like Buck Wild might not be top 5. We gonna stop acting like Buck Wild ain't top 5 of all time, because a lot of them records that you love, that be Buck Wild, man. That Woe by Black Rob, that's Buck Wild. Yo, my favorite, he might not even remember this. The Faith, I Love You, that's Buck Wild. Yo, but what he probably don't realize, right? Listen, Buck Wild, the Funk Dubious remix, the Rock On remix by Funk Dubious, Time's Up OC. No, but think about, if y'all never heard Funk Dubious, look for Rock On remix. Come on now. But yeah, let me go. I gotta go. Oh, Step It to the Ozone. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. All right. Let me roll, y'all. I'll be back later on. I think I got the wrong outro on here, but y'all just got to deal with it for today. Until next time. Of course.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
All beats, all music you hear. Let's go. I'm out. Till next time.
Doggie Diamonds did this.
And make sure you look at these related videos on the right. After these Brooklyn Bridge pictures come down, these videos are going to come up. And if you click on the logo, you can subscribe to the channel.